But basic syntax as on the screen are majorly for students that are preparing to use Python for data science. Before anyone can venture into to data science, you must actually have one or two tools that you need to use for data science program. Though we have Python, we have R programming, we have Power BI, and also others like that. You must choose another IDE, which means the interface that you'll be using to write your code. Now, I want to use um, PyCharm for today's code. I'm using PyCharm. I'll open my PyCharm already in order to show you how to start coding in to start this core Python. Then this is just the volume 1 Python for beginner. Then after this, the volume 2 will be dealing with the core area for data science, in which is just major library like NumPy. So example, a NumPy that we can use in order to statistically do or relate a data, or to manipulate, or to calculate, or to use a data in data science. And the first thing that we're going to do now is to write our codes using our PyCharm in order to write this particular code. So this is my PyCharm. So if you are just new to this, you can create a folder on the desktop. Create a folder on the desktop, something like this. So create a folder on my desktop. Create a folder like this. Create a folder like this and call it data science with Python. Data science with Python. Then click OK like this. Then I can right click on the folder to actually check in order to load it at Python. Okay, so I will now open the folder in Python. As you can see from my screen, so I'll open it in PyCharm this way. It's loading. It's loading. Yes, you click on Trust Project. Open in another window because I have one window already. I don't want that one to be closed. So open in another window. Actually, I have 30 good information over there. We're going to go through all the information one by one. I'll go 2 or 3 out of 3 to the remaining one. Go 2 or 3 out of those ones and show you how to use it. Now let me navigate back to let the chat continue loading. So the document. So go to your WhatsApp and double click this. Then you have this particular code for beginner in words in Python. Now how do we use this? This is Python basic. It's just for students to be familiar with Python syntax and when you learn to write Python code. What are syntax? Syntax are combination of letters, numbers that a language can interpret. So a language has 3 things like compiler, interpreter, and assembler. Normally, it's general to every computer. That's in order to make words, a binary code to be converted to human readable words, human readable human readable files, human readable files. So I will quickly use this. Now, if you check number 1, you create a name for it, like okay, you can call this one Python basic or basic.py. Then I can write the code and run it. Now the second one is variable and data type. We have variable and data type, variable and container in which you can store values. So you can also call that values literacy in programming. Now that values help us to group all the values according to their size and according to their capacity. according to their size and according to their capacity. Now we have now if you check this, this is a comment. We use hash for single line comment. We use that you use apostrophe, that single quote. You type single quote 3 times and break it into 2. So this is from here is a comment. From here to here is a comment. But if you write it differently and paste it, or you just write it like this, the compiler will not interpret this. The compiler can only interpret only this one. So the compiler can only interpret only this one. Now what I'm going to do now is to write this code. Write number 1, number 2, number 3, and then we run it. And how to write that in our Python. Now let's come back to our Python. This is my first, this is the demo that when you open your Python, now you can see Python 3 has been configured. Project interpreter. This interpreter that will run our project. This interpreter that will run our project. Now I want to quickly create a folder on this folder now. I'll right click on it. Right click on it. I want to create a new file. And then I'll go to name and I'll choose Python file. So if I choose Python file, I'll call the first one basic. The basic is actually dealing with what? Actually dealing with. So I'll press enter. So to create a new one, you don't need to set anything out. You don't need to follow any principle. You just continue writing because Python is what is freely friendly with user. It's easy to write and it's easy to code. Now the first thing is to use print function. So how to use, so I'm writing a comment in order to do what, to explain my code. How to use print function. So we use print function to print information on the console. So what is a console? Console is the place that will have the output. Console is the place that relates with the user. So this one is just like the inner code. When you run it, it will be from the, this is what we call an IDE. That do what that can write, you can write the environment in which you can write Python program. Then you write in the program, we have a code. When you run the code will run in the console. The interpreter will interpret it, compile it, interpret it, then and run it in that Python virtual environment. We have the environment. This is the what an ID that can do what, that can run our Python code. Now I'm using print function. I say print, then I have to put it in the code. Hello, data science students. In some programming, in other programming language, you have to use your delimiter like semicolon and all this. But Python did not need that. You can print as many as possible just to write the text on the console. So then another thing, your text must be in the quote, either single quote or double quote. Aptech data science student. Choosing hello to the data science student. I already do that. Now what I need to do is just to run it. If I want to run it, you can right click on it and run it. Can we say run? You can run it from here. That's number one. You can run it from here. You can come here and right click on it and choose run. Now if you run it, sometimes you may have a lot of code to run. You may have a lot of code that you have created already. These are the two things. This is what we call console. And you see the path to that particular file. This is the path to my file. In user, array, desktop, data science with Python. Then basic, this is the name of the file. So I'm having two components, which means I'm using print function to print this to the word, to the console, something like this. This is how to use that. Let me go back to the template. So I need 30 coding files from you guys. Now here I will go back to my something like this. You see hello world. That's what we have here now. I will move to number two, which is what a variable. So what are variable and data type? Data types are the method of grouping our data according to their what? To their uniqueness or according to their characteristics. But actually, we cannot store the same data type in the same variable. So data type allow us to differentiate our variable. It also allows us to understand the byte at which a variable can carry. Like sometimes integer carry 4 bytes, some carry 2 bytes, char carry 1 byte. So these are the variables. Boolean variable can store only true. String variable can store anything that has to do with character. And then float can store any number that has to do with decimal number. Integer can store both negative numbers and positive number. So we have two types of variable, primitive data type. No, we have two types of data type, primitive data type and non-primitive data type. But all these ones are still under primitive data type. For non-primitive data type are three: array, functions, and then objects. Array, functions, and object. For that object also you can relate it to what we call class. You can relate it to class. Now I will try to write the second code. So every code, one name, number one file, one code, one another file, another code. I'll call this one variable demo. I can call this one operator demo. When you reach for you create the files and call it either if demo or control flow demo. Right, then I need 30 of this from you. So I'm having almost 30. So custom iterator. So from that place you code it. I'm also going to code that as well. But this one is just a very short video for it's just a simple guide for you to do to code in Python. Now let me go back to the ID and write the code. Let's break the page into two. We call so so I have my code over here and I have my just divide it this way so that you can navigate easily from one interface to another. Now I want to create another. The second file, I'll go to file again. And now write to variable demo, press enter. Then if you want to code it, you start from the hash side of it. This hash now is is a is a comment. What are the functions of comment? Comment allow different programmer to understand the code from each other. Now if I'm working on a project and I pass that project to another developer, so that developer will also be able to interpret my code because I've already put comment alongside. So it's good to put comment alongside. Now, sometimes if I have some mathematical operation, I already predict the answer before running it. So if I'm having error, that comment will guide me not to have error. Now I want to use comment first, which is hash variable and data. So number one is what integer, and so before you, so we have an integer val equals to 10 float underscore val equals to 20.5 string equals to hello after. Sorry, I don't need to put semicolon. Then boolean. I don't even need to declare the data type. Just write directly boolean underscore equals to true. Now I can print all this value out by concatenating the print function. If I write it like this and run it, nothing will come up in my console because I've not used print function. Already declare it, I've assigned a value to it. Now the interpreter and the compiler will not see this particular integer as ordinary integer again. Integer underscore var will now become 10 anytime I reference it in my program. So it's just like a memory location for 10. So I'm using integer to tag that 10. Float 20.5. Hello after student is in string underscore. So I've stored values in a variable. Store values in a variable. Now I have to print it now. I will quickly concatenate. Concatenation is I'm joining what? I'm joining a particular object with another one. So I will say what integer and integer underscore underscore integer underscore press enter. Now I can add string to this so that I'll just say integer. So I concatenate it like this. Concatenation means I join them side by side together. Now I call the integer to be equals to this, but the name of the variable, this one will now be 10, and this one will be integer. But this one will also show on the screen that integer is equal to, I can put equals to here. Now I can also, let me come up with this style so that I can put it in this way, plus, but again, float, I'll use it directly like that so that it'll be easy for me to call. Call float again. So plus what again? What's the next one? String. Plus boolean. Plus so I think that is all the variable that we have. Then I can run it now. Let me just run it. So for me to run it, there's one thing I want to clarify. If I run it like this, it's going to bring out the value of basic instead of the value of variable demo. Now what you need to do is just to click this place and click on what? And click on variable. Check for variable. So where is variable? I think I can save it. So I'm not seeing it there. I have to come here and right click or right on it and run it. So yeah, my concatenation is getting too much. Concatenations are getting too much. Just setting it. Okay, so let's use comma. That's put it on a single line. So then you write again. So this command I'm going to use. Yeah. So these are all my values. So integer, float, and so on. So that is all about that for today. Now you can complete others, and if there is more for me to create more video on this, create it. Then like, share, and also comment. Bye.